G'day, g'day. Here we are, week 1 Sunday, where the rubber meets the road. Going to go through these, try and give as highlighted possible top level information to help you out. Now, we went through a few games last night with Scotty, just adding a bit more to it, have a few more ideas of how to go a little deeper over the next few weeks, but right now it's just madness, so let's get through the games. I'll target the early games first, and then I'll highlight anything big in the second half, and then I'll come back in a few hours and see how it's all going. Steelers Jets. What a way to start the season. 54% on the Steelers, well balanced on the master chart, significantly bet under, 76% and 82% of the master money. Money line is interesting. It's fairly well balanced for money, so the underdog there. But right now, it's a fairly well balanced game, and the live will control what the decision is there. Dolphins, Colts. Seeing a lot of Dolphins money come in today. Slightly, last night it was slightly the Colts, slightly the Dolphins now. But on the master side, it's still 75% Colts. Total, fairly well balanced, nothing exciting there. Money line, similar as well. Panthers, Jaguars, adding up two numbers here. We had some old games, we changed them out, we put in the new games with the new numbers and whatnot. So I'm just doing some quick calculations on the fly here. It's looking at 68% of the money is on the Jaguars. Big chunks of that at 3.5 and 4. I've seen quite a few heavy hitters come in on them, and this shows it on the master chart. We're looking at 87% of the master chart money is on the Jaguars. It's at numbers that don't exist anymore. I'll just highlight that. 3.5, 3, bit of there's some 4s around, but total wise, it's about 67% of the money's on the over. Ooh, yeah. I mean, the data's there to show that the unders that play, we're looking at 71% of the money on the under. A lot of that's a 47, a little bit of 46.5. Giants, Commanders. This is like Giants money. Giants money is big. We are going to need the Commanders. I wouldn't have thought that at the beginning of the week, but we are going to need them. So 210. So it's about 68% of the money's on the Giants. Master chart is super well balanced and at the numbers 6, 5.5, 6.5. It's all well balanced there. Total, nothing of note. Then we get into, oh God, this has swung around a bit too. Browns, Bengals. Money's coming for the Browns today. It's like 58% is on the Browns. And, this is really swung from last night. And we're looking at 86% of the master money is on the Browns. It's holding up with the number, though. It's coming in at +5. Yeah, really interesting. Go back to that money line. The money line, the total, it's 67% on the over, 64% on the under. Money line is 93, 94% of the master money is on the Bengals, and 97% of the master money is on the Browns. All the overall money is on the Bengals. So sticking to that one. Sticking to the Browns. The game's getting a little interesting now on the spread there. So the Browns are going to cover. They need to win straight up. Eddie Gecko, I will get to you with that question after this. Raiders, Patriots. So the early money was clearly on the Patriots side. Today, it's very much balanced. Yesterday and today. But overall, we're still looking at about 61% of the money's on the Patriots. 87% of the master money, it's not a lot though, is on the Patriots. 82% of the money on the over, master chart, well balanced. Well balanced there. Cardinals Saints. Cardinals heavily bet. It's almost like people are seeing into the future that this game's already over. They've got to the Back to the Future result book for this one. Because we're looking at 87% of the money's on the Cardinals. Really no master money. So this is rec money. That's why I'm sort of a little bit of anticipating maybe the Saints can do some damage here. Total, really nothing on the total. Well balanced. Money lines, there's a bit on that on the Cardinals. Buccaneers, Falcons. I think this is the last one of the morning games. So we're looking at 76% of the money is on the Falcons. Again, a bunch of that was at +2, +1.5 as it come across. And yeah, it's like 94% of the master money is on the Falcons. But if I dig into that one, big chunk at +1, big chunk at -1 as well today from some serious hitters. So yeah, definitely going to need the Buccaneers in that game. Total, good volume, well balanced. Same on the master chart. Good volume, well balanced. And then, oddly enough, so it's a little bit more balanced than I thought because the money line is all over Tampa Bay. What is this? Really bizarre and interesting. Because we're looking at 67% of the money line is on that and 96% of the master money. So I calculate all that into that. It's still significantly needing the Buccaneers, but yeah, that sort of makes it a little bit closer based on the money line action there. Quick scurry. I'm just looking at the late games. As I said last night, Broncos. That's where all the money is. Pushing hard. You get up to some 9.5, get a little Tennessee, buy it back, but they're betting the Broncos hard. San Francisco Seahawks, really a low bet game. I expect to see a bit more business depending how the morning goes there. Still looking about 67% on Seattle and nothing on the master chart there. Nothing on the total. Nothing worth really noting. Lions Packers, looking at 68% of the money's on the Lions. Master money's well balanced. Total like 57% on the under. No master money worth of note. And the money line is Packers way. Texans Rams. Again, this really heavily bet in the Rams direction. I've seen some smart money on that. It was around at the 2.5. But since it's been sitting at 3, not a lot of master action. Still a little bit on the Rams heading that way. Total is at 74% on the under. No master money at all. And then tonight's game, Ravens Bills. Really well balanced right now. Well balanced on the master chart. Early master come in on the Bills over the last week or so, and then Ravens money's come in. So first halves, anything there? Commanders on the master action. Broncos, significant master bet, -5 first half. Yeah, I'm not going to get into props in that. I was asked by Eddie Gecko who's the biggest Super Bowl liability right now. Just take a look at that quickly. Super Bowl. Clearly the Buffalo Bills. Look there. Top price. It's a little bit of 7-1. mainly in the 5s and 6s. Pittsburgh's the next one. Here we go. Dallas Cowboys. But Buffalo Bills is the biggest liability on the master side as well. Minnesota gets a few nibbles there. But yeah, gonna have to try and finagle that a little bit, because I'd actually like to see the Bills win it, but futures ultimately don't matter. You end up writing way more on the Super Bowl, I think, generally than what your futures book is. You get plenty of opportunities through the playoffs to sort of mold those books together. So, having multiple 7-figure stands right now on those futures, not too concerned at all. Plenty of equity there, plenty of people betting into it. I don't think there's any prices hanging. Love to be playing the Bills right now. Couldn't play them enough a few years ago when they were like 3.5, 4 to 1. Seeing what else here is playing around. A couple of division interesting things to look at. So this is Texans is a big loser on the rec money. But Colts Jags is where the master money's gone. I'll stick in here. Vikings. Good result overall. Masters are all over them. What price though? Let me just check that one. Lower than what's around now. Falcons getting good action there. They're a loser. San Francisco is getting all the rec money. It's a good result there. Cardinals is where all the around 6s and 5s early on in the part. And that's about it. Like 20 minutes. I'm sure most of you have got your bets on already. I'm sure that's most of you playing. Anyone that's getting in some last minute action. Let me just bring up the ticker quickly. Whoa. Jesus, this thing's flying. Hang on a sec. Let me. All right, this is going so fast, I can't see anything. Right there. I just slowed it down. Seeing a bunch of money come in. Jared Joseph, master money, and I'll in the system now, so I will take a system's slow right now. So generally it's originators, which are your sharpest of sharps. Manipulators are which ones that just bring this up here. Here we go. So, and I'll get into this. I think this is a question that I can point them to. We've got the originator, which is the key to all of this. You have them betting with you. You know where the number's going. You know what you're looking for. You can start taking real bets, big limits. Price sensitive, kind of originator, but some of the originators, depending on where they're betting and whatnot. But generally, you can see people that are price sensitive. So you know if they bet with you, your top price, you decide whether you want to stay there or whatnot. Manipulators, that's someone that knows that this is a specific number. If they move it at this place, and this is where some of the fun occurs, you can control and manipulate the entire world market. So sometimes we've got people marked as that, knowing what they're doing. They're looking to manipulate whether it's a lower sport to set up the models for that closing line. Then we've got the arbors. Love the arbors. They're doing all the good work for us, going out there, picking off other numbers against ours. Our goal is to beat the arbors, and generally we're doing that. There's a few that are winning, which then shows us that our product's not where it needs to be. and we sort of have communications there of what it is. Abusers as bonus whores and, people taking shots and stuff like that. I know there was a conversation a week or so ago on a couple of different platforms. I am going to get into this. I don't know when, but at some point, in a bit more detail. And then I think that's sort of the bulk of it. But the idea is we put these numbers in one section that we concentrate on. The rest of it we put in a bucket and ignore unless it's just overpowering amounts of money that requires a movement. That's pretty much what it is. Might be a stupid question, but if you move, Circa moves, right? I don't know. I don't think so exactly. This is where, people say, look at the competitors, stuff like that. For us, I don't really see that we have competitors. Yes, we do in a sense of we're trying to acquire players and things like that. But especially by this point, we have so much liquidity and so much money on this stuff. We're not looking at other people's numbers. Circa, 100% in the same position. They're not looking at our numbers. They don't care about our numbers. They have some of the sharpest people on the planet betting into them, so they know where they need to be and what they need to do. So, this is where there is opportunities, and this is where I really want to take advantage of Kentucky, where we both exist with Prime and Circa. There'll be opportunities for arbitrages. And this is something that I think you can really look against and use probably good opportunities where you really get to bounce between those two worlds and make it sort of fly. But I clicked on this last thing so I can see it coming in a little slower. But yeah, that's it. And for me, on these platforms, and whenever you have me, there is no stupid questions. I've been doing this 30 years coming up on this, but been gambling for 30 plus years. I have plenty of questions that people, dealing different parts of this business that probably think stupid, but yeah. We've got Eddie Gecko. What percentage ROI are you typically happy for an NFL season? We're happy with 2.5%, 3% hold. We're doing volumes where that's sustainable for us. So if we're getting to 3.5%, 4% as a bookmaker and as an operation, we're hitting it out of the park. So when you see these places holding 15, 20, insanity, and just shows that they're running their sportsbook more like a slot machine, and they've just got the return to player on a massive take hold. As a bettor, I'm not really into these ROIs and things like that, because ultimately, depending on the volume, if you're doing less bets, the sample of variance varies. If you're doing a lot of bets and your margin of value. So margin of value is you have people that will take a 1% edge and they will just bet it, and their volume will be excessive and they'll hold what they hold. Then you have others that are looking for more of a 4 or 5% edge, which then get less bets, less volume, and want a higher ROI. So I wouldn't get too wrapped up in what anybody out there is saying their ROI is or should be or anything of that nature. Depending on what size bettor you are, what level bettor you are, the goal is just to place wagers that you believe are value for you, and then build on top of that. But like anything, you look at billionaires and whatnot, happy to get 4 or 5% on their return of investments and stuff like that on big enough numbers to survive. And then others gamble for bigger to try and get 10, 15, 20% hold. So that's all nice to lock at, but depending on where you're at and what level you are in this industry, I wouldn't get too wrapped up in those kind of things. Then we've got Jared Joseph. Busy this morning. Hypothetically, if you're on the master side, should be a winner if you're betting the same numbers. Correct. Hypothetically, if you're on the master side, a true master originator, you should be a winner if you're betting the same numbers. Correct. How often can you get those same numbers? That's a big question, depending on the sport, depending on the volatility and things like that. I will say over the years, I have had access to probably the best originators, best masters on the planet in many, 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 many different sports. Soccer, tennis, college sports, college basketball, college football, NFL, propositions, all these things. Unless you've got some outs, and it's a lot harder these days than it was 15 to 20 years ago, that you've got some stale, slow numbers, you're a chance. But most of these are betting, and they move the market, and they move it fast. And if you're not getting it as it lands, which having a bet ticker or something like this that pops up, here comes, there's $30,000 bet +1 on the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, you're chasing yourself into a big black hole, because the real one, something like baseball, it's daily, it's a grind. You miss one day, you miss 2 days here over the course of a season, and it can be death. I paid this price early in my career. I remember a horrific first college Saturday. God, it must be going back 15, 16 years. I had the top stuff. I was getting it. They got crushed, and I pretty much wiped myself out that weekend, and it was a very hard football season from then on, and that's first week in September. Browns, so yeah, take it as you will, but it's really hard if you're going to try and chase that bear. All right, we've got 9 minutes to go. I've got another question, and then I'll wrap up, and I'll get some of these, I think, in individual videos or something like that. I'm just trying to do more stuff, trying to help out where I can. Browns and Falcons seem to have some numbers available still at the master money, or did I miss that? Browns and Falcons seem to have. Yeah. I think you're right. I was definitely looking at the Browns as the number seemingly holding up. So Browns. God, system's getting slow as we're loading into the last. So yeah, +5, minus 10 to 15 is where there's a bunch of that. So that still is readily available from what I see. And Falcons, yes, Falcons is a little bit different. There was a chunk at -1. The stronger stuff was at +1.5, +1. But yeah, that one's still sitting there. But as I said, on the money line, you got some decent players that have come back there as well. So it's not really selling that one on the Falcons one. We definitely do need the Buccaneers. But on that other one, the Browns, again, it's there. Market just elsewhere seems to be holding up. On the Bengals, and then yeah, back to Jared. Yeah, ML. Forget it. I've given up on MLB a long time ago. That's just a grind. NBA kind of as well. Hockey, they're just tough. So unless you got a team and building that up, for NFL and that, I think that you can get some of these numbers well after. And I really don't know how much the market stuff and the sharp stuff is on the NFL games and totals. It's different props, first half, something like that. But I think pre-game, I don't know if there's that many people crushing the NFL. Now, live, yeah, sure. I mean, that's where the weakness is in everything is live. So anyway, got to jump on the tech call, make sure that things are holding up, staying alive. This is really a big load test for us to really see if our summer of work actually worked. But yeah, all the best to everybody, and good luck. I will throw one humdinger out there. If you're around, you got some soccer stuff you can bet. Connor Bradley to score a goal anytime today for Northern Ireland against Germany. Played him the other day, less odds. He didn't score one. They scored 3 goals. It's unfortunate, but I just had to throw on that one. On the tennis today, again, just some throwouts there. I think it's going to be a long match. I think I've gone first set tiebreaker and for it to be a 5-set, but it should be a cracker back and forth. 2 of the best players going around and definitely dominated the sport the last, 2 years, 18 months. So again, all the best. Kill it today, boys and ladies.